Hi students, this is Dr. D. Gokila, working as an assistant professor in Department of Computer Science PG in Christu Jayanti University, Bangalore. Today I am going to teach about database management system along with SQL. The session here is an introduction session which gives you an overall view of how the database management systems works within SQL. So let us go for the first slide. The first slide is used in such a way that it is describing regarding what is a database. A database is a collection of interrelated data manually, and it is also computerized online. It is also a set of programs that is to access the data. The database management system provides an environment that is used both for convenient and efficient to use. Mainly this database management systems is used for storing, retrieving and manipulating the data. So here are some of the applications that is used for with the help of database. So in day-to-day life, everything we can have as a real-time examples of this database management system. So banking, transactions, we are in airline reservation systems where we find the schedules, booking tickets, universities we can go for registrations, fees outcomes, bookings, grades, etc. When you go for sales, it is customers, products, purchases. When you go for manufacturing, it is production, inventory, orders, supply, etc. And when you go for human resources, it is employee records, salaries, tax deductions, etc. So database touches all the aspects of the world, and it is used where and it can also be penetrated throughout the world. So why do we use database management system? To avoid the data redundancy. The redundancy is the duplications of data and inconsistency. We can use multiple file formats of data, duplications of informations in different files. So to avoid the difficulties in accessing the data, we have to write a new program to carry out the each task. To deal with an data isolation, multiple files and formats are used. To deal with an integrity problems, we can also have an integrity account of data that becomes a part of the program code, and it is easy to use and it is very program constrained too. So this is what some of the main important reasons for following the database management system. One is atomicity of updates, the next one is concurrent access by the multiple users, and the next one is security problems. When you go for atomicity of updates, it is failures may lead to the database in an inconsistent state with the partial updates carried out. So for example, if you are doing any fund transfer, if the automatic updations is not done in a fund transfer, either it is reflected in one area and it is not reflected in another area, automatically it leads to an atomicity where the data has to be divisible by task, and it has to be each and every data must have a single value. So concurrent users is multiple users can access the data single at a time, and they can also be able to perform the data. So that is what is called as inconsistency and security problem data. The next one is relational models of data, like the tabular form of a data and the relational models is given. For example, you can contain each row is called as a record, and the record has been updated with the help of a database, and each column is called as a field. The field is associated with some names. So all the fields are otherwise called as attributes in a database management system. So this is an example of logically collected databases with account numbers, and it consists of customer ID, name, street, customer street, etc. So this is database users like application programmers, sophisticated users, specialized users, and also we have naive users. The application programmers interact with the DMLs where a sophisticated request from the database query. And the specialized users write the applications that does not fit into a traditional programming software network. If you go for naive users, it invokes one of the permanent application solutions that has been previously written. That is an example of accessing the database over a big pool of data. And this is an example of this transaction management. When we go for transaction management, it is a collection of operations that performs a single logical function in a database applications. So transaction management component ensures that the database remains in a consistent correct state despite of the system failures. The system failures may be a power failures and operating system crashes and transaction failures. Concurrency control managers also controls the interactions among the concurrent users to ensure that the consistency of the database is carried out. This is storage management. The storage manager is responsible for a program module that provides an interface between the low-level data stored in the database and the application programs and queries submitted to the system. The storage manager is responsible to the following tasks like interaction with the file manager, efficient storing, relieving and updating of data. So this is the overall structure of a database that consists of many queries like name users, application programmers, sophisticated users, database administrators, etc. Like application interfaces and application programmers are generated with each and every task in the database. Like the database administrator is responsible for the administration tools, and the administration tools comprises of the tools which is associated with the application program object code like compiler, link, DML queries, DML interrupter and DML compiler, organizer, etc. So this is the application architecture. The application architecture is of two types like two-tier architecture and three-tier architecture. Whereas two-tier architecture consists of the user application in one tier and the database program in another tier. Whereas three-tier architecture is the application and database in one structure, and user and the application client will be in the another structure. Where the application client is divided into two types, like one is a client and another one is application client and one is the user. So this is an example of a database that is used for allowing to create, manipulate and analyze the data. So an example of an overall structure is given for here. So we come to a main thing which is called as SQL. So SQL is nothing but that it is a standard language for querying and manipulating the data. Like it is widely used with alter, deleting tables and attributes. It consists of two languages. One is DDL, another one is DML. DDL stands for data definition language, whereas DML stands for data manipulation language. So SQL is most commonly used ID. This is an example query which consists of a product. As usual, we have attributes like P name, price, category, manufacturer, etc. So we have each one is called a product is a table name, where attributes is called as the manufacturer. And this is what is called as the schema. The schema is an attribute or a structure of a table that defines the attributes of the table. When we go for the table called as product, the schema of the table will be such that it consists of the attributes like P name, price, category and manufacturer. Each and every attribute has some values and each and everything has some records or rows. So these are the data types that is used in the database management systems. Like we have basic data types like numeric data type, character string data type, boolean, date, timestamp, etc. So this is a product name, and the constraints and the values of the attributes specifying the attributes are given here. And it is not null, default value, check class, unique class, etc. So this is a primary class of the attributes that is being presented. Examples of the tables product which is given. So this is what we have seen today. Thank you all for patiently listening the videos. Thank you, students.